sports video game collection. There are a few I had in a bin. I think I have like an NHL Breakaway 98 for the PlayStation and one of the Slugfest. Not Slugfest. I did have one of those, but I sold it. One of the MVP baseballs on, I think it's with Manny Ramirez on the cover for the GameCube. I didn't feel like taking those out. I might be one or two other ones floating around. If you guys like this, leave a like. And I didn't add any wrestling games or racing games or like dirt bike type games like Motocross Maniacs. But if you want to see those as well in a collection, I could do those because then I'd be adding more to this and it would just take longer. So if you like this and you want to see like another part of like of that, just let me know. I'll do those games as well. But yeah, I'm gonna start grabbing them and whatnot. First one here is NBA 2K21 for the Xbox One. I have not opened this yet. I got it because it's $5 at Five Below. I know people when I picked it up, people said this one is not good and the reviews are not good. I might pop it open at some point and give it a play. Madden 20. This is one I got for garage sale for $1. I picked it up because I didn't have a Madden for these consoles. I have not played this one either. Let me know how this one is, if anyone's played it. I know, like, Madden's quality has been kind of middling over the years. They kind of phone it in. Not that they make bad games, but they don't. I think since there's like really no competition anymore, right? They don't really give a shit. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004 for the Cube. There's another one I got at G-Sale this in April. I picked it up because it was $3 a GameCube game. I grabbed the Slugfest that I sold already, and a couple other. Was there another GameCube game? I got 6 games in that one. What were they? Was this Slugfest? 2 PSP games for that PlayStation game 5. I want to say it was another Cube. Was there another Cube Sport game that I picked up and just didn't? I'm gonna have to go back to that because I do not know what that 6 game was. I'm pretty sure I got 6. But yeah, I played this one a little bit back in the day. I kind of do enjoy golf games. And I want to kind of pick up a newer one. Like, I know I'm a couple of years old. The PGA 2K1 or whatever they're calling it. It's like $10. But yeah. This one was still Tiger Woods PGA Tour. The last one I played a ton of was, I think it was 10 Tiger Woods, like 2010 or something. It was on the PS3, I believe. Let me check that real quick and see if I put that on my Instagram. It might have been another Cube Sport game that I just completely forgot about. Let's see. I don't have it on here. Damn it. I did not put a picture up of that one. Is the MLB The Show 21 for the PS4 that I'd gotten this a few months ago as well. I have not played this one yet either. And FIFA Street, you might have seen this in the 360 video from last week. So this is like an arcade version of like the NFL Streets, the NBA Streets. I have not played this one either. Speaking of more street games, we've got NFL Street and NFL Street 2 here. These are also ones that came from garage sales. This one came, I think, last year. It was $1 with the Madden 20. I got it, that one. I want to say this one I would have done a pickup video on this a couple of years ago. Oh, God. It might have been 20. Okay, it could have been 2018. I can't remember if it was that I got the PS2 and, like, a bunch of PlayStation, PS PS2 games, and I'm pretty sure this was in there, but it might not have been. I don't know. These are cool arcade football games. You got Ricky Williams on the cover here with those. That's Shannon Sharp. Looks like Barry Sanders. This one has Jeremy Shockey. I don't know who that is on the Falcons. Number 38, apparently. Who could that have been? When was this? It's not Jamal Anderson, right? He was out of the league at that point. I don't know who that is. Fun arcade. I think it's 5-on-5 or something like that. Maybe it's more. I don't know. Let's go to the NES. The original Nintendo games got a Tribble. And these three games here are all from the garage sale. The most recent one with all the Xbox, the original Xbox, and NES games. Double Dribble is a classic. I had this when I was a kid. It's fun. Just basketball, you know. Pretty fast paced. I know they did a thing on this, and same thing with Tecmo Bowl on Family Guy. I'm pretty sure. Peter used some cheap move to the corner. You could always shoot it at 3 from the corner. This was a classic. Baseball. So this would have been the first baseball game, I believe, on the NES. Made by Nintendo. It's okay. I played it back in the day. I didn't own it. I think one of my friends did. The sports series. This is when they would put sports series or action series or adventure series. An old 5-pinner. They had the 5 pins on these older NES games. But it's okay. The last one here is the Super Dodgeball, which I guess I could have included with racing games and stuff. It's a little different. This is an awesome game. Super fun. Just, I think you play as America in this. And then in the end, you play the shadow version, the evil version of your own country. It's weird. The mirror image of your own country. I think there's Japan in here, Britain, Germany in here as well. I can't remember. It's an all-star team, I think. There's a couple other countries as well. It's fun when you take the guy's energy down. They actually turn into angels and go up to heaven. But you have your I think it's 3 guys in the middle, and then you have 3 guys on the side. Show this one Game Boy game I have real quick. Got this from the East End Gaming, is that what it's called? In Oakdale. This NBA All-Star Challenge 2. Really good, actually. I picked it up because I didn't know they made a second one. It didn't come out on the Genesis or Super Nintendo, I believe, but it was on the Game Boy. This one's got a slam dunk in it, and it actually works fairly well. Surprisingly. I might as well just show the console counterpart. So you got Drexler, Mullen, Ewing, and Olajuwon here. This game's awesome. Originally, when I was a kid, I had this on the Super Nintendo. I want to say I still have the manual for it. But this had 3-point contest, which I always played the shit out of. Even when I bought this again, I bought this in this one video. Play and Trade was still over by the Coles in Bayshore. It was there briefly. I got these two. I got this game, and one of the other ones I'll show. It was I remember I was in there. It was just March of 2020, and the people in there were like, yeah, they're going to be shutting down the schools next week. I was like, here we go. And then lo and behold, shit was shut down for 2 months. But this was $5. I played the shit out of 3-point contests. It's fun. Each team has a player you can use from it. They have horse, one-on-one tournament, free throw contest, and 3-point shooting. 3 points fun. Free throws are okay. The one-on-ones are alright as well. And horse is what it is. It's fun, though. Once again, this was Acclaim. See, this is weird because Acclaim and some of the other games they made, their address will be in Glen Cove, New York. But This one's in Oyster Bay, both on Long Island. I think they're both near each other, so I don't know if they had two places or they had moved at some point before they folded completely. Here's the other one that came with it. Tecmo Super Baseball. Well, these are the Genesis games now. You're going to see a ton of Genesis games. Part of the Tecmo series, they made basketball, they made football, they made baseball. I don't know if they did anything else. This one's alright. I played some of this when I got it. I had never played it before. It was decent. Some of the fielding was a little annoying, but the cool thing about the Tecmo games is you can control whatever team you want, or no teams. You could simulate a full season and stuff, and that made it fun. Some of the later games will have trades in it and stuff. This is another one I had on the Super Nintendo. Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. The only one I do not have is Tecmo Hockey. This game was awesome. Same thing, simulation. You know, I just love the stats and keeping the stats and stuff. And this has the side to side, not the what would it be? The angled view. This one has Pippen, B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant on there. I don't know who those guys are on that. That's the Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know who those are. This is a fun game, though. Another one I don't have that I want to get, and I played the shit out of this when I was a kid. It was NBA Action 94 for the Genesis. And Marv Albert is the voice. That was another simulation one that I played the shit out of. Like, they kept your simulation. They kept your stats and shit like that. It was just fun. Hardball 3. I actually first played this game. I guess it would have been on IBM. It was on PC. A friend of mine had it. And the cool thing about this was you could, like, create your own players. They didn't have the license, but they had, like, the fields and the teams, I think. Because the fields in this, like, Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium, Fenway, all look great. Like, that was such a big part of the game. Like, oh my god, look, the stadium looks like it does in real life. But Al Michaels announced this, apparently. But it didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't have the players. I don't think they did. Maybe they did. But you could, like, create your own team and, like, give them ERA and records and stuff. It was actually a pretty good game. It played pretty well, also. Madden 94. It's the only Madden I have for the Genesis right now. Back in the day, I had this one, and I think I had 95 on the Super Nintendo. I might have 93. A lot of people say this is the best one, or 93. I should say the best one if you grew up and you were playing the shit out of them during this era. Those would be the two that you really wanted to play. Obviously, they improved greatly after that, but this one, admittedly, these Madden games don't hold up as well as like the Lakers for Celtics and the NHL games. Let's go to some random stuff here. More Genesis. This is gonna be Genesis for a little bit here. U.S. Gold presents Olympic Gold. This is the Summer Games from Barcelona, 92. This had swimming, hurdles, high jump. Might have had javelin. And I guess high jump was the one with the stick the thing in the ground. Hurdles, swimming. I think there was diving in this as well. It controlled okay, but you kind of, these Olympic Games back then, like, you really had to get used to the controls and how to do certain things. There might be discus in this as well. Or, what's the thing where they spin and throw it? Shot put. That might have been in here, but it might not have been. This one I not played. I got it in a lot. Rugby. World Cup 95. I have not played it. I think I threw it in to make sure it works, but I didn't, like, spend any time with it. This was in a lot. I got off eBay with some of the other games I have in here. It's pretty cheap, too. It was like $20. I think Road Rash 3 might have been in there, too. That actually might have been the reason I'd gotten it. No, it isn't. That was a different lot. I know the reason why I got this one. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I've not played this. If anyone's played this, let me know how it is. Got College Football 97. Haven't played it. It looks like the Maddens. It's just college teams, but not the players. And Coach K, college basketball. I got this one because it looked cool. I was looking at, like, screenshots of it. It looked cool, and you couldn't do a full 64 24-team tournaments. You could do up to 32, and it's got all the college teams and stuff. I love just that tournament. The March Madness to me is like my favorite tournament, even though I'm not overly into college basketball. I just love brackets. It's a big bracket and a lot going on and stuff. I used to be into it more back in like the 90s and early 2000s when I knew a lot more of the players and stuff. NBA Live 95. I also have this on the Super Nintendo. That's the one I played a ton. I didn't have it on the Genesis when I was a kid. I had it on the Super Nintendo. This is the first one into the angled view. This like the view that's on the side, not like this. It's like this. That's when they started it. I don't know whether they're still using that view to this day. I do not know. Do they still make NBA Live games? I'm going to leave some of those to the ends because they're all part of a group. Let's go to these games now. Lakers vs. Celtics in the NBA playoffs. Awesome game. It still holds up pretty well, too. This is the first, technically, in like this became the live series. This one just had the playoff teams, so did... Actually, I think all three of them did until NBA Showdown 94. It had the playoff teams, and you could do the brackets, like the playoffs and stuff, and it's super fun. And I don't know if they had their special moves in this one or not, players. They definitely did in this one, and the one after this, Bulls vs. Lakers. Technically, they just did Lakers vs. Celtics in the first one, because those were the two teams that battled out a bunch of times in the 80s. Realistically, it should have been Pistons vs. Blazers. Maybe that wouldn't have sold. Because 88 was even... 88 was Pistons vs. Lakers as well, and I think 87 was Pistons vs. Lakers. Or maybe it wasn't. I'm pretty sure the Pistons made 3 titles in a row, and they won it back-to-back. Bulls vs. Lakers, the same thing. Different playoff teams, if different teams made it. And I think certain guys had like special moves in this one. Actually, no, I think in Lakers vs. Celtics, Tom Chambers dunked from like 3-point line. It's ridiculous. Still fun, still holds up. Great music in these games too, like amazing music. And here's Bulls vs. Blazers in the NBA playoffs. So these games would have been coming out, I think, at the start of the season after the finals had taken place. This is 93, but Portland and Chicago played 91-92. Same thing, great game. I don't know if they added every team in this one. They may have, but they might not have. I don't know. Now, this was supposed to be Bulls vs. Suns, but they just called it NBA Showdown 94. This adds all the teams. It adds full season, everything else. And it's cool to have all the teams in there and actually play full season and stuff. I can't remember there's trades and stuff like that. I want to say this is another one. I can't remember if I had it on the Genesis when I was a kid or the Super Nintendo. But this was the last one that went side to side before an NBA Live 95. Alright. So I got the rest of the Genesis here. Then I'll move to Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, and then I have 3 games together that are from different systems. Here we go. NHL hockey, the first NHL. Solid game too. This one this had the NHL license, the team license, but not the players. Classic game, still classic. Not the best in the series, but still classic. Then you have NHLPA 93. This one just had the players license, but not the teams. This one is an improvement on that one. A lot of people really like this one. It is really good. But this is the one that's still probably my favorite sport game. Actually, it has to be because this is still in my top 5 games of all time. NHL 94. So now you got the players and the league licensing. Once again, great music. I think it's the same guy who did the music for... he was doing music for all the EA games. Like even the Road Rashers and stuff like that. There's a lot of that music's very similar. This one's awesome, though. This one introduced the one-timers. I think Fighting left 93, and then they brought it back here. You can break the glass, and this one, guys from the crowd will come up and pound on the glass. It's just an awesome, awesome game. My friends and I used to play tournaments of this. We'd have a little mini Stanley Cup to give to the winner. It's an amazing game. And I have 95 actually somewhere, but 95 changed the graphics and it looked weird. The players were bigger and weirder looking. And then they went back to it 96, which I don't have, but here's 97, which I haven't played much of. And here's 98, which I believe was the last one for the Genesis. I got this in the lot with rugby and I think Coach K's basketball. Because this game alone usually sells for like $20, even just the card. Maybe not now, but it did. It's the last one on the system. I only tested these games, but I did not put much time into them. By the time these games were coming out, this one came out in 96, this one came out in 97. I was moved on to the Nintendo 64. I wasn't really bothering with Genesis stuff at that point, or Super Nintendo. But yeah, I kind of need to get 96. I just gotta have 95 floating around. Super Famicom game here. This is another Super Dodgeball. This is Super Famicom 1. Same thing kind of as the NES version. This did not come out here though. Same kind of gameplay and everything like that. It's cool, it's fun. It's fun to play with someone as well. They're good two-player games. I mean, most of these sport games are really good. Two-player games, I think back then, you'd have fun playing the computer and stuff and doing tournaments, but I just gotta check something quick. But you would really have fun. You'd really have fun playing against somebody else, like especially the Lakers versus Celtics. The Maddens and stuff like that. Baseball games like RBR Baseball. Oh, wait, I have it in the case and I forgot to grab it. I'm kind of pissed now. I just remembered it. Sports Talk Baseball I have on the Genesis. One of my favorite sport games. My friends and I will still play that from maybe like once or twice a year. Another awesome sport game. That had the player's license, but not the teams again. It was weird back then. I forgot I had that in the case and I forgot to grab it. Actually, hold on a second. I had this in the bin underneath, the little cabinet underneath here. FIFA Soccer. This is my original case. I picked up the game at the Oakdale Gaming, Easton Gaming. This is the first FIFA too. This game's awesome. We used to play tournaments in this too. This could use could this one use the multi-tap, the four-way thing? I don't know. Yes, it could. Four-way play sport, digitalized crowds, tournaments. This game's awesome. I forgot about this one too until I just remembered that Sports Talk I had in the case, and I don't have them with the other Genesis games. This game is awesome though. It still is actually. I'm kind of pissed I forgot Sports Talk. Alright, let's move on to these Super Nintendo games. Super Tennis. This and Virtua Tennis on the Dreamcast are my favorite tennis games. I wouldn't mind getting a Top Spin. Or, those started on the original Xbox, I believe. Tennis games are fun, and Virtua Tennis, and even this, once again, great two-player games. Playing against someone's always fun. This one's awesome, though. I used to have the original, too, back in the day on the Nintendo, just tennis, that one was. Here's NBA Live 95 again. I had gotten this one first, and then the one on Genesis came in the lot with NHL 98. I played a ton of this. I played this tripping out once. I think I mentioned it. I was like tripping. I'm throwing in a video game, and I was just hooking up threes from half court, and I could swear I saw the rotation in the wrist. I was like, this is insane. And half of them were going in. This one has the Knicks and the Rockets on the cover. So I see Ori. Looks like John Starks, Charles Smith. Might be Otis Thorpe, who would get traded for Clyde Drexler the year after. It's one of my favorite basketball games. NCAA college basketball. I had to pick this up. I had this when I was a kid, and I still have the manual. It has a cool look. This was Nintendo's game. They made this. It had a really cool look. And the court would turn and stuff like that. It still plays pretty well, too, actually. I remember playing it when I picked it up again. It was $3. Like I said, I might get Stanley Cup hockey as well. Because that was made by Nintendo as well. It was the same. idea. It was just hockey. They had the same turn the thing around stuff. And Baseball Simulator 1000. This game's awesome. They had Baseball Simulator 1000 for the Nintendo. Same thing here. You get special powers and stuff. You can throw like a pitch that goes like this, or a superheater. You can use a missile, bat, and stuff like that, and do all types of other special powers. Some balls will disappear and like reappear and stuff like that. Really fun game, actually. Alright, so that's all those. I'm gonna go to the last three here, which are all Tecmo Bowl games. So here's Tecmo Super Bowl 2. I got this for the Famicom because it is like, I think $15 for the Famicom, Super Famicom, but it's like $80 Ultimate Edition, Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition. It's like $70, $80 for the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. And it's literally the same thing. It's all in English, so it's like, okay, right, it's just the same game. It's awesome. Tecmo Bowl's awesome gameplay. It still is to this day. Super kind of arcade gameplay. It keeps your stats. You can simulate seasons and everything like that. It's super fun. It's Tecmo Super Bowl 3 for the Genesis. This is the final edition, but apparently it wasn't. Actually, I don't know if this came out. When did this come out? No, it did come out before the one I'm going to show next. Same thing. This it just has the kind of updated rosters like everything else. They might add in some new things. The gameplay in these games is just phenomenal, though. And here's a Tecmo Super Bowl for the PlayStation. This one I had gotten at the garage sale with Resident Evil and a couple other games. Resident Evil Director's Cut. This one's cool because this adds different views you can use. You don't have to go side to side. You do a couple different views. Better graphics, live commentary. And you can play in weather conditions and all of them. Unlimited player trades. I played some of this and it was fun. And this game's not, it's like a $20, $25 game. It's not, for a sport game, it's a little more expensive. Tecmo Bose. It's about the speakers. The Tecmo Bowl games are awesome. Tecmo Super Bowl. The one that I need to get it again. I had it when I was younger. I think I had it on the Genesis, but it was on the Super Nintendo as well. Tecmo Super Bowl, that one. And they also had Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES, which is arguably the best one. Like, that improved upon the original Tecmo Bowl, because that one only had the playoff teams. Couldn't do season. Also in Tecmo Super Bowl, you could do all the seasons as a stats, and you're like, yes. Back then, when you first played it, you were like, holy shit, this is incredible. But, yeah, Tecmo Bowls are great. But yeah, that's just a request here of my sports video game collection. Like I said, if you guys like this, leave a like. And if you want to see me do wrestling games, I also have Tony Hawk, those kind of games, and wrestling, racing games, and dirt bike type games, stuff like that. Let me know, and I can do another video with just those games as well. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.